The lady on top of the building looks down at the wagon, and you folks.
Eh?
Hi.
¿Qué pasa?
Yo.
What's up?
Meeting in my office. See you in 5 minutes. She then steps back into the building.
Yo, how she know us? Like, whoa,
Yeah.
we didn't. Oh yeah, probably.
Lieutenant, yeah.
Lieutenant Lou.
So, what's the plan, guys? What's the plan, Stan?
I mean,
Did you just now get that, Nico?
The lieutenant thing? That's actually
Lieutenant Lou.
yeah, Lieutenant. Loutena, like David Tennant, but Lieutenant. Yeah. So yeah, this is the moment where you guys just fucking Tokyo drift into the Caesar's Legion side of town. No. So what's the plan, guys?
Let's go meet her, I guess.
Yes, got no other choice.
Now you got plenty of other choices. The town's
Yes, we should go to the...
you have the town at your disposal. You don't have to go meet her. I mean, I think it'd be nice to go meet her, but in the end, it's your.
Let's go meet her.
I want to go meet her.
Let's see what's up.
Yeah. Do it.
All right.
So you.
Alright, come on, Rufus.
See if I can seduct her with my womanly charms.
So you, all of you step into the theater. You then step through the doors of the theater. Inside, it feels rather warm. The theater has been kept up rather nicely. However, it is completely vacant. There seems to be two theaters, one on your left side and one on your right. Around you is several. In front of you is a snack stand where you can probably grab different foods and other beverages, but there doesn't seem to be anyone attending it, nor does there seem to be any foods or beverages. Behind you is a Nuka-Cola machine that has since been put out of order, and yeah, that's about it. The room is fairly dark. However, it's lit lightly by a couple torches hanging on the walls, where lanterns probably hung at one point.
Okay, this place is kept nice. I see.
Yeah?
Aside from the dead bodies outside.
Well, yeah. Other than that, but you know, what they say? What they say this woman was again? What they say this woman was?
General
General.
General.
Ellie.
So yeah, they gotta.
Yep.
This probably her. Well, this is where her office is gonna be, so it's gotta be kept. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Good. So let's press on.
All right. You guys want to kind of split off and do your own things, or you want to keep the party together and head into one area or another?
I'm sticking with Rufus, man.
Nico's like, fuck you, I'll make my own party out of wasteland animals. I've got Betty the bloatfly, Rufus the rat, and Derry the deathclaw. God.
Okay, now first things first. If she actually
Gary the gecko.
if
Gary
she
the
actually
gecko.
gets a Deathclaw, I'm literally just gonna take one of these handguns and.
Noah's just gonna kill himself.
Yeah, like.
Well, I don't really think that Nico is going to have any luck taming an animal whose roars break glass and bend steel. So, yeah.
I mean, if
You
that
never
goes,
know.
like, if that goes,
Nico has dumb luck, Alex. You never
Like, the
know.
thing can literally do a Fus Roda, seriously.
Again, Nico
Has dumb luck. Yup.
It's not dumb, it's very well planned.
Very well planned luck. So, you have two...
you know what? You know what, Ikone?
What?
I'ma kill your rat.
Thumbs up.
Stomp.
Oh, can I do
Or
it?
not?
Can I do it?
Can I do it?
No, you can't kill Rufus.
So, all of a sudden you hear sounds starting to come from one of the theaters. There seems to be a movie playing at one of them.
Let's go check that shit out, you guys.
So,
Alright, what else is happening though? As I look up to God.
well, says not Mary. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, the room is again. There's an old busted Nuka-Cola machine. There's a snack stand with no snacks, and there's another theater that sounds pretty quiet. However, you might find something interesting in there.
if
Yo.
there's any Coca-Cola left at the new phone thing.
So
It's out of order.
you walk over to
It's
the
busted.
you walk
Not
over to
empty.
the you walk over to the Nuka-Cola.
Still might be some in there.
You walk over to the Nuka-Cola machine and you thump on it a few times, and you find a spot that seems pretty hollow, and you grab the metal sheeting on one side and kind of peel it off. Inside, you can see there are still 2 Nuka-Colas perfectly preserved inside the casing of the machine, and they seem to be ice cold.
Oh, score.
Right? All right,
Nice.
you're taking both of them?
Yeah.
Nice. So Sarah now holds a Nuka-Cola in her left and in her right hand.
Oh,
You can put them in your backpack if you want, or you can just walk around. Or you can just walk around with them in your hands, like we talk
or
with
you
her.
can, shove
lobsters.
one in your cleavage and then just hold the other in your hand.
You know what? You know fucking what? That's some fucking planning.
Okay.
Shove one in your cleavage.
I'm gonna put them in the bag for later.
Alrighty. But like you want in the cleavage, like in this setting, be like, okay, one's in my cleavage. Holy fuck, that's cold! You with a clink, you drop both glass bottles into your rucksack and you zip it up, or button it up in this case. And around you, around you, the room's still fairly empty. However, the music in one of the theaters continues.
I think we should go check out the music, you guys. I think that might be her office.
I think we should.
Hold on a minute. What? Like, I'm writing this fucking campaign. How did you come to that conclusion? Who listens to fucking loud ass music in their office?
Have you not seen many movies? Have you not seen movies where like the guy in charge is always playing like classical music?
Or he's just sitting. Oh, okay.
Or just like sitting there listening to like heavy metal because it's like a stupid 80s movie.
I wish it was an 80s movie, but we're stuck in the 1930s where most movies were kind of shit. Shots fucking fired.
Hey.
Oh, God.
I'll have you know that movies from the 30s are classic and fucking timeless.
Okay.
Yo, John, can I have a
So because of the so you hear so what do you guys want to do?
I will argue with
Let's
John.
go to the fucking sound.
Yeah, I think we should go.
Let's go to the fucking sound.
There.
Got it.
Yo, I'm gonna just walk up and check in first.
Check in where?
Like look through the door, poke my head and see what's happening.
All right.
I'm
So
not
the
gonna
rest of
walk
the rest of the party just storms in while Indolo peeks around the corner and sees that the commander that he saw on the roof is now kicking back in a chair in the dead center of the theater, watching a pre-war film on the television. The film seems to show what looks to be the World War II mascot of Rosie the Riveter fighting off ninjas with her wrench. It's probably not a very good movie, but it is pre-war, meaning it's a rarity.
Wow.
General Ellie still sits completely silent in the center of the theater watching this film. That has no audio, by the way. Not that it's a silent film, but just doesn't have the audio.
Yo,
You just told us there was music.
Fuck!
That's how we got there, you dumbass.
Okay, yeah. So no. It's playing the radio over the movie through the speakers because there has to be some sort of audio. Just watching a movie in complete silence would drive a person insane.
Okay, whatever.
That makes sense. I figured it out. I bullshitted it. So General Ellie sits in the center of the theater, alone watching a movie.
Morning, General.
Morning. She sits up. So, where you guys from?
We just came from Almar.
My mom.
My mom. I have not heard of that place. Is it a Native American reference? Yeah. Is it tribal? Is it what tribe is? I have heard of Almar, however, and that is interesting, because that's exactly where we want to be going right now. So. Oh, go ahead.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, you could go there if you wanted. I don't know what you're gonna find there.
It's kinda.
I was just
It,
I
wait,
was asleep half the time, so I can't tell you.
what do
much
you
about it.
what do you mean? What's up, Nico?
I have weak pathetic hands and need to turn on the light. Can you come help me?
Yes, I can in a moment. So General Ellie looks at you bewildered. What do you mean it's fucked?
Turns out it happened. It's why to overthrow the government there. Ended up killing most of the civilians.
Oh. She sits back down in her chair. So, our original goal when arriving here in Coloma was to get to Almar. We had a contact there we were supposed to talk to, and that would have established us in the Great Lakes Wasteland.
Oh, I think we met your contact. Dirty, drunk.
Miles?
Miles?
Yeah, Miles. That's his name.
How is he?
Probably dead.
I think he might be dead now, unfortunately.
I see. So we've been staying for far too long. We need to retreat. We need to pull back across the border.
Yo, little couple questions here.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is up with this war?
Okay. I'll give you guys the full backstory if you have the time to listen. So
Didn't you guys already beat the Legion back at Hoover Dam?
no, actually, we almost beat him, but at the last second, the strip's automated defense system activated, and under the control of a lone wanderer, ended up making the strip independent, pushing out both NCR and Legion.
Oh, so you're an independent player.
Oh, you're going with that ending.
I'm going with
Cool.
my ending.
Cool, I like that ending.
That's a good ending. So, so she sits there. So basically, I was stationed in a part of the country known as the Dusts. Me and just a lone squad. We were supposed to go ahead and scout out the Indiana-Michigan border. However, we weren't prepared for the winds of the dust, and we thought we could handle a basic dust storm like in New Vegas. However, the dust storms here didn't only contain dirt; they contained shrapnel, metal, glass, radiation, nuclear fallout. A man alone in the dust for far too long would be mummified by the very wind itself. However,
Hello.
as my hi JT, we're doing a campaign. However, as my comrades died one by one, I started collecting their I insubordinately collected their uniforms, and I continued layering them on top of myself until finally I was able to make it through the dusts.
Alright, love you.
I love you too. And I was able to make.
Love you.
I love you too. I made it through the dusts. I was able to make it through the dusts on my own and make it to the border. My two comrades next to me did not make it. They weren't as smart and resourceful as I was, and within a day they had died. We had arrived at what we had thought was going to be an NCR camp, but because it took us so long to get through the dust, it had already been overtaken by the Legion. And I was taken as a slave by the Legion. The Legion there was over the camp there was overseen by a legate known as Legate Kalis, and this legate was a pretty prominent slaver. He had no legionnaires, no recruits. All of his soldiers were slaves, and I was going to become one as well. Whether it was a man, a woman, or a child, they would become a soldier for him, and I refused. I refused to work for him. He kept me in prison for years, and he did not torture me himself, but he had his slaves do it. His slaves beat me and did other such unspeakable things to me. However,
I don't like the Legion.
yes, the Legion is disgusting. And the day before I would have gone mad, the NCR attacked the border, and I was able to sneak up on Legate Canis and stab him in his lower back, paralyzing him from the waist down. I made sure to drag the knife across really hard, and I made sure he never walked again. I wanted him to remember and with his weakness, he would likely be executed.
You go, girl.
However,
Now, okay.
that-
Hold up. Look,
yeah.
please.
Go ahead.
Yes.
That was the gayest shit and the gayest way I've ever heard you talk in my entire time with you. All right, and I've been asleep half this fucking time.
You will not mention this.
Faggotry.
Cease.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sexual faggotry.
Cease it. So after that little outburst, she smiles and chuckles for a second before continuing. I was able to. When I finally escaped from the compound, I saw all the NCR troops running north as fast as they could. They managed to break through the border finally, and they are going to set up a camp in the Great Lake Wasteland.
Well, that's a fun story.
Yep. We ended up making our way into Coloma, and when we got here, the soldiers were scattered and terrified, not sure what to do or what to think. The entire chain of command had been broken. Every single general had been cut to pieces by the Legion, and all that were left were low-ranking grunts, privates, corporals, that kind of thing. But overall, that was all we had there. I did what was needed to be done, and I took command of these troops. I was the only one who was not completely broken by the escape, and I wasn't panicking. And I gave a speech, and I gave it over and over again, louder and louder, until they finally listened and obeyed me. And it took about 6 hours, but by the time the Legion had finally arrived, we were ready for a fight. Well, as ready as we could be with the limited weapons and supplies we had. However, we fought. We ended up keeping them out for a good while. They ended up pushing us back to the very edge of town, and we had about... They're creating the battle lines you see now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Before we continue with this, and you're explaining, I have to ask a couple questions.
Yeah, sure.
What is
What's
your
up?
motivation here?
Well, I was about to get to that. My original orders was to make contact with Miles of Almar, and I was not able to reach that goal. We were stopped here in Coloma, where we are now in a standoff with Caesar's Legion. The reason why we're in a standoff with Caius's forces and Caius's slave forces was very simply the night we got here, it got really cold, colder than it ever had gotten before. We had never experienced such cold. So we spent the entire night setting up shelter while avoiding gunfire. And we thought, okay, well, come morning, we could get back to fighting. However, the cold never stopped. And that was the day that the frost rolled in. Half of both our forces and the Legion's forces were annihilated overnight by the cold. And recently it's been rather warm outside. And my goals here were to kill General Caius, kill his forces, and then make my way back up to Almar. But I don't think that's going to happen now, because if we finally defeat the Legion here at Coloma, we're gonna have another war on our hands, in Almar. So what I ask of you is for you to go to Caius and inform him of our surrender.
You're surrendering to the Legion? You realize what they're going to do to you?
All right, no. Okay, hold up. Hold that thought, John. Better idea. Okay. Listen. Do you really give a fuck anymore? I mean, you're obviously surrendering.
Well, there's nothing else much we can do.
Well, say fuck it. Come with us.
No.
Okay. I tried.
See, the reason why I'm having you negotiate this surrender is... See, my soldiers have, as you've seen outside, probably, they have gotten really used to life here on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
They used to... I remember when we first started here, every night I'd hear them crying. I'd hear them crying for family members, but after a while, the tears would eventually fade, and they have become the battlefield. They care about nothing more than killing the Legion. But I know one day we will win, but I fear for the day that we do. And what will become of all these soldiers I have raised here on this battlefield? Will they go mad? Will they become raiders? Will they simply walk until they die? I don't think I could deal with that. So our only bet here is to retreat past the border and continue a war elsewhere. where I can ensure my own safety and the safety of my troops.
Okay.
They're not. You think the Legion?
Respectable.
Do you really think the Legion's gonna let you just go? They'll
Because
I mean, yeah,
crucify you.
that's why I was saying, come with us, just
Those
focus.
those are the only conditions of our surrender. However,
Oh,
recently, we did not want to have to use this, but a Brotherhood of Steel unit had made the mistake of walking through this area, and they were attacked by us on both sides. This was about 3 years ago. About 10 years ago, Brotherhood of Steel unit made the mistake of walking through this area. We destroyed them, and we took a lot of their weapons. However, the Caesar's Legion took some suits of power armor. They were damaged beyond repair and completely lacking fusion cores, but they did take the armor. But what we got was the better goal here. She, as you noticed that you notice that sitting next to General Ellie seems to be a large ammo crate. What I have right here is a cluster of mini nukes. On the top of the roof, you see that we have several mortars set up. In about 10 seconds, I could annihilate the entirety of Caius's forces.
Do it.
However,
Why haven't you?
because my forces are mixed and mingled with them. Not to mention, we would not be likely to escape from the nuclear. We would not be able to escape from the radiation after we're done. That and my troops, when given the knowledge that they had finally finished, my troops aren't ready to lead a life without war. And after this is over, they'll just wander the wasteland. And I am certain.
Not if you're there to lead them, though. These men look up to you. These men have followed you from the very depths of hell itself. And they'll look up to you as a leader, and it's be up to you to lead them to wherever they can. Maybe do good in this godforsaken place.
I'm just saying right now. All right,
Mhm.
your troops, they seem to trust you and be with you in your decisions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is what I suggest you to do. It's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, but just hear me out. All right. Now, to launch off all of these mini nukes, and
Mhm.
get them over there, you're not gonna need all of your troops. Only maybe like a fourth of them.
I see.
So take the ones willing and have them, blow those motherfuckers up. And well, you still got a battalion yourself, and you can piece the fuck out.
The general looks down at the floor. The truth is, I don't want to kill the Legion. I don't want to kill these slaves. They're just simply slaves. They have no choice in the matter. However, we have captured several slaves, and we have interrogated them, and they have nothing but kind things to say about their leader. They say he's a reasonable man. They say he's a caring individual, which is bizarre, but it's a very common theme we've seen with every single slave we have taken, every single person we've interrogated.
Brainwash.
Possibly. But on the chance that this man is actually a kind soul, someone who's willing to understand my plight, maybe I'll be able to talk him into letting us retreat. We are abandoning. We are ditching the front lines. We're going to retreat back past the border, and we're going to head to the nearest NCR camp. The problem with that is I'm but a private. I've never actually been given my rank. I simply was called the general for the longest time, and it's a name I've accepted. However, I have a life ahead of me, and I think that after this I can be discharged and lead a rather simple life under the NCR. I've been here for the past 20 years, and I really want to go home. Unlike these troops, I have not acclimated to the battlefield, and I think it's time for us to head home. And I need you to parlay this message to General Caius.
Okay, so like, are y'all gonna start, like getting out here after we go and kill him, or well, how's this working?
General Caius,
You know what?
General Ellie pulls a small flare gun from her pocket and hands it to Edolo. Fire this into the air if the parlay is a success. If not, simply return to me and we'll get ready for the biggest fight of our lives.
Okay. All right.
Looks like we don't got a choice.
Hold up a second. Oh, I fucked that up. As I click away at my Pip-Boy.
So, yep. So she quickly pulls out her Pip-Boy and starts clicking. All of you suddenly hear a loud beeping noise coming from each of your Pip-Boys, and you look and you see that the location on the map where you need to go has been tagged. It's simply it's through the downtown, and the NCR should be set up on the other end. The Legion should be set up on the other side of town.
All right. Now, other question. Are
Yeah,
you
what's
sure,
up?
as we stroll in there,
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna, just fucking attack us?
They won't. Unless you're wearing NCR colors, you should be okay.
Okay.
We should be all right. If anything goes wrong, I'll let my men know, and we'll cover them in mortar fire.
Regular mortar fire, though, right?
Oh, what'd you say?
Regular mortar fighter, though. Right?
Yes, regular mortar fire. We won't be firing mini nukes while you're in the area.
Okay.
And she's like, ah, shit, there goes that plan. No. So you guys now have an objective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the plan from this point, ladies and gentlemen? What's the party's plan from this point?
Are we already out the building now?
No, you're still standing in the theater with her, and she's sat back down continued watching her film.
Well,
Do you have any equipment we could take? Any new guns? I only got this pistol, and I'm not sure how well it does against the Legion.
You got some ammo, some clips?
The armory is next door in the other theater. We have a large supply of service rifles and as well as machetes from Caesar's Legion. We also have throwing spears. You may take one. You may take 5 throwing spears and 1 machete each. Same with the service rifle. You get 1 clip.
Question. Any handgun clips?
No handgun ammo. Those were abolished recently because people tended to use them to kill themselves.
Oh.
Wow.
Abolished as in...
They were easy. They were
throwing
easy.
them out somewhere?
Abolished as we scrapped all of that ammunition to make service rifle ammo.
Okay, but I'm not worried about the ammo. I'm worried about the clips.
We scrapped all the clips to make service rifle clips.
Okay, got it.
So, go talk to the quartermaster next door. Just tell him I sent you. He'll radio it in, and we should be all good.
All right. Let's go. Armory.
Alrighty.
All right.
So the party walks down the hallway. They walk by the snack stand and see that that someone has actually set up shop there. A very tan woman, a very tan, what looks to be a middle-aged woman who's not in uniform at all, sitting in basically pre-war clothing, standing next to stacks of Brahmin meat. "Hello," she says as you pass by, ignoring her.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? What do you got there?
Well, I got meat.
Meat?
Yeah, meat. I don't know.
Yo, Ikone, why are you so fucking silent?
Why are you so far away?
Can only feel
Yeah,
because
like, get up here, come on.
Nico's got another app open. Go ahead and jump back to the Discord.
Hello.
Hi, Nico.
Okay,
I said, I'm just gonna slip by here, man.
Alright,
You guys don't want
alright,
no. You guys don't want no meat.
I can use some meat.
You can have my meat.
But I'm selling.
have meat.
She's like, she looks at Sarah angrily. Hey, I don't need no competition around here. I'm the only one selling meat in this building. I have no idea where this meat comes from, but I do have a supplier from a town north of Almar. But yeah, we got meat. You want meat?
You got any?
How much?
Is that all you have?
10 caps per slab.
How many caps do we have?
You're
I have
supposed to keep track
10
of
and
that
you have
yourself.
10.
Yep.
Mm,
We do have the mole rat meat already, so I say I'm gonna pass.
No, we already cooked that.
Yeah, but we didn't eat it.
All right, so you guys are just not gonna buy any meat from the meat woman.
I don't need
No.
any meat.
nah.
I would, but like, ain't got shit.
Okay, thanks for stopping by, you guys.
You're welcome.
ya.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too.
Bye, creepy lady.
Okay, listen.
Bye, mole rat faggot.
Okay, Ikone, listen, you gotta understand. Just because someone has a stack of meat doesn't make them weird. It's probably a normal ass stack of meat.
I was bullied every day for having a stack of meat on my desk. Ruined my high school experience.
Well, you should have told him to fuck off.
Alex, why did you just go Indian?
I don't know.
Oh,
Welcome to the meat shop. How can I help you?
We sell cow. It's against my religion, but I sell cow.
Any unidentified meat, and I'm definitely not gonna be over at any unidentified meat.
Really?
We'll feed you to your
You are
morale
not,
if you don't-
Nico. You are not in a look at the world you're in right now. You are not in a position to be picky about what you eat.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I don't have any cats anyway, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Nico, don't
you
be
guys,
picky or else we'll eat you.
you guys continue on your, you guys continue your walk to the other side of. Oh, it's lightning outside. You guys continue your walk to the other theater. In front, you see a large, you see what seems to be a large man with a metal mask on his face. Well, you see what seems to be a metal mask on his face, but you see that most of the skin on his face is missing, and you see a metal skull. Hello, how can I help you? The man says,
Hi.
snapping his teeth together.
Hi, we're here for the some service rifle and equipment.
Yes, please go on. He, or no, sorry. He says, okay, please wait here. He turns around very rigidly, his legs staying completely still, but his torso turning behind him, as he grabs 4 service rifles. He turns back around. He continues turning, his clothes becoming all twisted in his midsection, and he hands you your rifles. There you go.
Thank-
Have a good day. Day. Yeah.
What about our
Okay.
machetes and throwing spears?
Would you like machetes and or throwing spears?
Yeah, we'll
Both,
take that too.
please.
Okay. One moment. I will need one of your if you want machetes or throwing spears, I will need a rifle back.
I ain't giving a rifle.
That wasn't a stipulation.
I'll go with the
It's better on a second while I look at something. Hold up.
Okay. The man in front of you seems to be a faulty synth, who's been damaged in some way and has now been put in charge of the weapon tent.
Let's see.
We got 2 dead guys guarding the weapon tent.
Hey, I think I'll take a machete.
Okay, please hand me your service rifle.
Here you go.
The robot, the synth grabs both of your service rifles, turns around again, unwinding the center of his
Damn it.
the center of his body, puts them back, and hands both of you machetes that have been. These are machetes that look to be taken from the Legion that have been sharpened perfectly, and he hands both of you machetes.
Wait, so what's all of this weapons thing again?
Machetes, throwing spears, or service rifles.
I'm talking about the guy that. Okay, I'm talking to God right here for a second.
Okay, I know no
So
god.
around this
He
area
looks at the
right
floor.
now. Around the tent, like, what is my surroundings right
You're
now?
not in a tent, you're still in the theater. I was making a
Okay.
Family Guy reference. However, in front of you can see that there's a chain link door that's been placed on the theater door. It could be picked if there wasn't a man standing in front of it, and the man standing in front of it isn't exactly a man.
Yeah, I kind of caught that.
Yes. However,
Actually, can I trade my service rifle for a machete? I like melee weapons.
yes, ma'am. He
Thank you.
snatches he takes the service rifle, turns around again, puts it back, grabs you a machete and hands it to you. Will that be all?
Uh, um, yeah, no, actually. You seem a little fucked up. Do you need some help?
Whatever do you mean?
Like, you seem to have some faulty programming here.
Programming?
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but you kind of like a robot.
Nonsense.
Oh,
I'm not a robot.
Screams robotically. I'm not a robot.
Yeah, yeah. Bite my shiny metal ass! No,
Bite my shiny metal ass.
I'm not a robot. I'm a person.
well,
I'm a soldier for the
seem to be
NCR.
a-
I've been serving for 10 years now.
Alright, well, you seem to be a little ill. Maybe you need some, medical attention?
Perhaps. I feel okay though. I mean, I've been taking my stim packs. I've been doing pretty well. I don't seem to have any bullet wounds currently. He says
Alright,
looking
well-
looking at his metallic skeleton hands.
Well, would you mind if we all of us here are actually very knowledgeable, and would you mind if we take a little exam?
Just want to remind you, you're asking a person who thinks they're a human being, "Hey, stranger, can I give you a physical examination?"
Exactly, I want to get a good look around this
All right,
body.
time for you to do a fucking speech roll, Noah.
Okay, let me just say right now, Alex, I'm trying to reprogram the fucking synth.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, but you have to get a speech roll first because he thinks he's a person. If you can break that down and talk him into giving a physical examination, then by all means, yeah, you can reprogram him.
I mean, I have a fairly high speech skill.
All right, you want to try talking him into it?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I got a 41 speech skill.
All right, go ahead and go.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, go ahead and add that to your. Go ahead and roll d20 and add that to it.
Where's the speech skill? Okay, never mind.
It's under speech.
54.
Okay, so you talk to you can. All right, you now you talk to him and try to convince him to for a physical examination or to convince him he's a robot. It's up to you, whichever you like to do.
No, see, I've seen plenty of soldiers from the NCR, and I know when somebody's wrong just by looking at them. But trust me, I've had experience in this,
You think I'm?
and I think we should take a good look at you, make sure everything's okay.
If you say so, yeah. We can go somewhere a bit more private if you want to give me an examination. I wouldn't want to do it out in the hall here.
Experience point K. Yes, that sounds great.
We can head into the employee lounge. There's a perfectly good table there.
Alright.
This is
Sounds like a
weird
plan.
shit. What the fuck are we doing?
You're trying to
Okay,
reprogram an
let's go
android.
to it. We're trying to reprogram a fucking android.
Why?
First things first, it's guarding a weapons tent?
It's guarding the armory.
So what? We're gonna leave these guys without guns?
No,
Yes.
we're just gonna take a little bit more than we're actually getting.
Okay.
No.
Why not?
Yeah, I am.
All right, so we have two. So and Edolo and Sarah both want to take.
Not because the freaking
Person,
the general lady trusts us.
The
They told
only
us
person
one-
that is keeping track of the inventory here is this. Okay, hold on. The only person keeping track of this shit here is, well, the synth. So,
Besides, she told us one of each.
We could
Could have
report
Nico.
everything.
What's up?
Nico, she told us one of each anyway, or one of each and 5 throwing spears. The synth is giving us 1,
Alright, fine.
so
You're bending the knee that easily? No ethical arguments here?
no, because she's just wrong. This is what we were told we could have, and the robot's trying to cheat us out of our shit.
You could always talk him. You could always, it'd probably be a lot easier just to roll a speech check and talk him into letting you grab more than he says you can.
Yeah.
Alex, my speech is 15.
Instead of getting fucking programming.
Chris can do it again if he wants.
Nah.
Okay, no, hold up.
We're
I like
going
that.
this route. I like this route.
You really want to you guys really want to reprogram the synth, don't you?
Oh my
Yes.
God, what's wrong with you?
Okay, so
I'm gonna reprogram it,
Maybe we can
but
get
I'm
it to join
also-
us.
pretty soon the synth walks into the employee lounge and you follow. The room looks fairly sterile considering it's deep inside the theater, and the synth then begins to then sits down on top of the table. What would you like from me?
Well, first I'm gonna do an examine around you, just to see, check some vitals.
Okay,
Like that.
would you like
As I
me?
search around for some sort of control panel or access point.
So you can see
Technological.
as you kind of like move around the synth, he sits completely still, not moving. You see that on his shoulder, in between his neck, on the nape of his neck, you can see there's a large chunk of skin missing. Inside, you see a small little panel with what looks to be several wires that all go to different parts of the body. However, there's also a small jack that looks like it connect directly to a Pip-Boy. With some fiddling, you can make it fit with a Pip-Boy with messing around with some wires here and there. And you could probably reprogram him through your Pip-Boy. This would be an intelligence
wait.
check.
I think we should try and reprogram.
You mean like an
him to
intelligence
join
and
us.
science check or something?
Yeah, sorry, it'd be a science check, yeah. But first you have to get through the process of actually trying to reprogram him. Ikone and John Stills are just so done at this point.
I just want to get out of here.
You're the one who did the speech check to give the exam, so you're in this.
Yeah, Noah's all in. Or Chris is all in too.
I am not.
All right, Nico.
Oh my god.
Noah, go ahead and roll a d10
All right.
for your. Sorry,
Can I just
sorry.
stand
D20
outside?
D20 for your science check.
Can I just
Can I just stand outside with Rufus?
Do whatever you want.
I'm gonna roll. Go ahead and roll your D20 for you, Noah. You rolled a 3. Go ahead and add that to your science.
Why did you get to roll? You roll horribly, Alex.
You roll it
Yeah,
then. You roll it. It's out there on the table. Go ahead.
God, you gotta know the secrets.
Maybe we should steal the general's treasure for the metaverse.
All
We
right,
don't, we don't have the time for that. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so add 11 to your overall science score. What's that?
40.
What is it?
40.
40. Okay, so it takes a bit of jostling around, but soon you're able to pluck several cords from his neck and several cords from the panel of your Pip-Boy. You kind of twist the cords together, and suddenly your Pip-Boy light changes on the screen. On the small screen on your Pip-Boy, it suddenly starts to read accessing institute database, and you have three different modes. You have civilian mode, mechanic mode, or courser mode.
What's Corsair again? I forget.
I don't know.
The assassin.
Those are 3 modes, man.
Put him in civilian mode.
He's currently in civilian mode.
Yeah.
So all
You said there was mechanic mode and what?
mechanic mode and courser mode.
As I click around on the Pip Boy,
Uh-huh.
I check for a little bit more to see if there's any more modes.
Well,
Or
as
anything else I can
as
do?
you put your cursor over the cursor, you get a description of each mode. Civilian mode is currently its default, where it just acts like a normal person. Mechanic mode is where it starts digging. It starts scavenging for parts, killing anything that gets in its way. And finally, you have a courser mode, which you can designate a target and it will attack.
Hmm. Okay.
Wait.
Yeah?
If we make it a
Check out this.
courser,
Huh?
we could probably use it to kill the general.
No.
Wait,
Already.
the legate?
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on. The legate or the general?
Leggett,
Okay.
the Caesar guy.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
That's assuming he has the man on his database. But even if he didn't have the man on the database, he would gather the information needed to find him.
Alright. Hold up. Y'all shut up. I'm the one doing this right now.
Mhm.
Okay. As I skim over mechanic mode, I look to see if there's anything about seeing what the fuck is it called? A higher up or like a leader of any sort to try to basically turn the fucking synth into a slave.
Oh, okay. So you go ahead and roll a d20 again.
Okay. Where is it? Okay, here.
You rolled a 16. So okay, so yeah, your the synth you try to hack further into the synth database. It pushes past the institute firewall and then it reads simply accessing Project Detroit. The small loading screen on the bottom of the Pip-Boy continues to load, and after a few seconds it stops. It suddenly reads access denied, and the synth stands up in place, pushing you backwards in it, and the cords that you have so delicately set up for his neck pop outwards. He now stands ramrod stiff in place, his eyes flashing a red color.
Damn it, Angelo.
Fuck.
Oh shit.
The robot simply looks at you, smiles, and goes, "I will dismiss myself now." He quickly holds his hands out. Holds his hands straight out, and his hands seem to have some sort of magnetic property. It pulls the machete from Sarah's belt into his own hand, and he beheads himself. The synth then
Wow.
clatters to the ground, splattering a white liquid all over the floor. It is now dead.
I take my machete back.
You try to pry the machete from his hand, but his grip seems to be made of iron.
Alright, then I go grab a new machete.
You then go grab. You then head downstairs to the armory where there is a lock that needs to be picked.
Fuck.
Where there is a fuck that needs to be shit.
Yo, go back to the synth, see if it's got a lock.
A lockpick on him.
Lock.
Yeah,
mean a key?
something. A key, lock, something.
You see that the synth does not have a key.
Alright, I'm gonna take one of these metal pieces and bend it into a lockpick.
All right, you take one of the metal pieces and you bend it into a lockpick and you hand it to Sarah,
Alright, who's doing this shit?
or whoever has the best lockpick rating should do it.
Mine's 17.
Yeah, I'm 17 too.
Alrighty,
Better?
all right. So
Mine's 15.
okay, so who wants to go pick the lock into the armory?
I guess I'll attempt to.
Okay, so Sarah heads downstairs and attempts to pick the
I
lock.
can't even see my lockpicking skill because my thing's fucking up.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a medium lock, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll 2d6 for it. Sorry, not 2d6, 2d10. That is. Copy.
So then I roll a d20.
No, you just do your normal stat. So,
My normal stat? Okay.
yep, and your normal stat's 15, and the roll comes up as a.
17.
Yep, the roll comes up as a 12, meaning that you are able to. You pick the lock and the door opens.
Sweet.
Nice. So now you guys have access to. You guys now have access to the armory, and you can do whatever you want. You can grab machetes or service rifles or even spears.
I'd like
I'd
to
like
grab
to grab
two
two
machetes.
machetes.
I already got a service rifle, but I like some more ammo.
All right. You look around and you see several hundred clips of service rifle ammo. each clip weighing about 5 pounds each.
How much is the service rifle?
Well, you currently have one round with one clip that has 20 rounds in it, so you could probably grab another one and be just fine.
I grabbed 2 machetes, 1 service rifle,
Okay.
and what were the round clips size? Whatever.
Five each.
No, how many bullets?
Oh,
each?
20. No, it's 20 bullets per clip.
I grabbed, what was the weight?
Five each. So you grab 2, that'd be 10. So as for
3.
okay, so you now have 20,
Same here.
You now have 80 rounds for your service rifle, counting the clip that's already in the gun. Ikone, on the other hand, grabs 2 machetes and slides them into his backpack.
I'm grabbing a service rifle and 2 clips.
Rufus sits on the floor, shaking with trauma.
Aww.
He's watched a man behead himself. He's traumatized, poor little guy.
Actually, okay, look for
Oh,
question.
then he's probably getting he's probably getting harassed right now as we speak because he's a fucking mole rat sitting in the middle of a human town.
No, he's with me.
Okay.
So you're getting harassed
We're
then.
outside of the room.
Oh no, you left him outside the room. All right, cool.
No, like he's in the room with me now, but when
I know.
Okay.
He's still shaking with trauma though, because he's just so full of it. He's just so full of that traumas. So you're able to take what you want from the armory, and I think it's about time for you guys to go on your mission.
Did you say that?
Great.
Did you catch where I said I did 3 clips?
Oh, you took 3 clips. So you now
Yeah, and I was actually gonna say I look for a faulty rifle, just so I have something to repair the one I currently have with, in
Okay.
case it breaks.
You grab an extra rifle that seems to be in fairly bad condition, but you can use its parts to repair your current rifle in
And-
case it breaks.
And how many clips are you allowing me to grab here?
You can
Because I'm
grab.
not gonna grab like a lot.
They're 5 again. They're 5 each. So you don't want to fill up your inventory, but you can grab quite a few if you want. They're 20 bullets each.
Actually,
There are 5.
I'm gonna be on the safe side. I'm gonna grab 5 instead of 3.
Okay. So
I'm
Good
gonna
to-
grab 4.
Actually, yeah, I'll grab
Not that I'm
5
gonna
too.
use them. I have the machetes, and I'm more of a melee.
Travis now has 100 rounds for his service rifle. And how many are you grabbing, Chris?
5.
All right. So both of you have 100 rounds for
I
your.
have 140.
Yeah, you would have 140, wouldn't you? You have a
Yeah.
no. Yeah, you'd have 100. You now have 140 rounds. Same with Chris. Anything else while we're here, or do you guys want to head out for your mission now?
I'm good.
How much do the throwing spears weigh? Because those could come in handy for hunting.
Those are 10 each. But they're silent, and you can throw them quite a ways.
Yo, I'm just saying, after this, we
10
should all
pounds
probably
per
get
throwing
together.
spear?
Yes,
and
10
go
pound,
over
10 pounds per.
all this.
Yeah, 10 pounds per throwing spear. And
Let's
when,
just do it after. So
Oh.
everyone write down your crap. Then we'll do this after.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab 5 throwing spears.
All right, so that adds 50 to your inventory, and you now have five throwing spears. The
Yeah.
the armory is now looking significantly lighter on weapons, and it looks like it's time for. Looks like you guys are about ready to go. You see up in the upper right corner, however, that there is actually a surveillance camera sweeping to and fro.
I hope
I
you
hope
guys
you guys
this is
this is a bad idea.
However, the
Hey, yo, I was
the
just trying to help
the moment
out,
the
alright?
moment you guys look at the security camera and the moment you notice it, it shuts down and falls asleep. This technology is a bit too advanced for a building that has no electricity, so yeah, it does not. I don't think it's General Ellie's camera.
No, probably not.
Yo, but who you think was watching?
The camera,
Probably the Brotherhood.
the
'Cause I
camera.
don't think the Legion has that kind of power either.
I don't know. That'd be a good. That'd be a good culprit. Regardless, though, you guys have all your weapons and ammo and stuff you need right now. You guys can head out the door and basically head into Legion territory anytime you want.
I guess.
Alright. Yeah. Okay.
Nico just wants to get the fuck out of this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
We've been stuck in it for like an hour. So, you guys all step outside, and you're greeted by the morning sun. All the different NCR troops are running to and fro, setting up shelter, reloading weapons, that kind of thing. Up in front of you, you see there's a mounted minigun on a tripod that is being spooled with a whole new line of ammunition. Your wagon is still in the same spot it was. However, up ahead of you is the fence that divides the NCR and Legion side in walking distance.
Well, let's fucking go.
Are we gonna walk there?
It's up to you. You guys can take the wagon or you can walk.
Yeah, let's walk.
We take the wagon. I mean,
Okay. Well, the party
why not? If
large.
you guys want to walk, I'm good with that too.
Chris, do you want to walk or wagon?
Let's walk.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
Alright, let's
walking
walk.
would be better.
So the party largely walks ahead, and you hear every now and again. You hear
Hold up, can we take a drink break? I'm thirsty.
yes,
Me too.
same. I'm gonna go get some food. I'll be right back.